At the time, I was staying with my friend Jack. Although the situation seemed a bit awkward, he firmly insisted that I should not seek overnight accommodation in a hotel. Our shared experiences had created a strong bond between us. I reached out to him right after my military service, and I was a little on edge because every woman I passed by blew my mind. It's worth noting that I had been putting off leaving the Army while Jack had completed his service almost a month earlier. Upon arrival, Jack greeted me warmly, like a brother. We struck up a pleasant conversation about our military service, training, and, most importantly, the day I had the opportunity to save his life. He kindly offered me a place to stay while I dealt with my problems in the city. To be honest, I was in no hurry to move out, even though I pretended to want a hotel room. The reason I stayed with my Army buddy had nothing to do with our old friendship. To my shame, I realized something else was keeping me in the house. It was his mother, Linda, who for some reason was still single despite her beauty. When Jack introduced us, I blushed like a boy, even though I had no reason to. She was only 20 years older than me, and I knew I shouldn't think of her that way. But I did. Linda's smile stunned me. I thought that I had never met such a sweet woman in my life, and from that moment on, I couldn't stop thinking about her. I repeatedly convinced myself that my feelings were misplaced, that I should have no interest in my friend's mother. For a while, I managed to convince myself of this until our paths crossed again. Her hair, her captivating legs, those features made me momentarily forget everything, including my impending move. The dilemma was that I had already solved all my problems in the city, and it was time for me to go home. However, it was hard for me to leave. Linda had just started her vacation, which meant she was home more often now, while Jack was busy with work and rarely showed up. I made up reasons to stay close to her, but it wasn't easy because we didn't have many common interests. Our socializing was mostly limited to the kitchen or watching TV together. Today she was sitting on the big couch watching some stupid program again. Well, I'd have to watch it too if it meant I could be near her. I tried to sneak glances at her while she stared intently at the screen. And whenever Linda turned in my direction, I quickly averted my eyes. It was like we were playing a ridiculous game that I had no hope of winning. I admired her that day. She sat in a robe that kept slipping down, driving me crazy. When Linda caught me looking at her, I didn't look away. I was looking at her longingly, and she noticed it. She got a little embarrassed and said, "Ethan, you're embarrassing me with that look." There was a pause, and in that moment, I found the courage to tell Linda everything. I confessed that I had fallen in love with her from the first moment we met, and that I would do anything for her. To my surprise, she moved closer and kissed me gently. It was like nothing I had ever experienced. Our passion took over, and we were lost in the moment. I think the neighbors must have heard everything that was going on. It went on like that for another 2 weeks. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that I had to leave. Staying here indefinitely was not an option. However, just as I was preparing to leave, Linda announced that she was expecting a baby. Frankly, I was overjoyed. This news gave me an excuse to stay close to Linda, which I wanted very much. However, I was at a loss as to how to break the news to Jack. I hesitated, not knowing what to do next. This is what happened to me in the beautiful state of Utah. I really hope everything goes well for us, don't you think? Let me know.